Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. I'm Kamika Love from thebudgetmom.com, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 important things that I learned on my financial journey. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of things, a lot of aha moments that I learned on my financial journey, but I kind of feel like there's 5 that not just changed my finances and my budget, but changed my entire life. And today we're going to be talking about those things. So the first big thing that I learned, which is kind of crazy to think that I learned it as an adult, but was learning patience. And I learned how to become a patient spender. What I mean by becoming a patient spender is, before I started my financial journey, I was one of those people that anytime I wanted something, I bought it like that. I didn't question it. I didn't think about the consequences of my spending. A lot of the times I bought it even if I didn't have the money, which means I used credit cards. Over the years, not only do I value things differently because I'm patient and I save up for it, but I've learned that if I want something, especially a big ticket item, saving every single paycheck and then buying the item. But patient spending has also been a part of my life, not just with small ticket items. So as you guys know, I just bought my dream home with cash, and becoming a patient spender really did change my path on that journey. It was an internal struggle. There were days where I'm like, I could be in my dream home 2 years earlier than when I actually accomplished that goal, because I could have financed. But I knew that financing and having a mortgage in my life was not part of the bigger picture that I had in my mind and the life that I wanted to live. So becoming that patient spender helped me a lot in other areas, not just with my budgeting, but with bigger life decisions. The second thing that I really learned was confidence. Now, as a lot of you guys know, I struggled with self-confidence issues. And that played a huge role into how much debt I went into with credit cards. But I also learned and discovered confidence in other areas of my life too. Confidence as a mom, confidence in the decisions I was making, not just with budgeting, but in life in general. The main thing, though, on why discovering confidence in myself and the decisions I was making for my life, why it was so important, is because without finding that confidence, I would have never made the decision to budget my money by paycheck. It was the first time on my journey where I knew I would have to step outside that budgeting box of doing it monthly and do it my own way. I had to have the confidence that I was making the right decision for me, that it was okay to do it differently, that it was okay to do it my way. And discovering that confidence happened every single time I hit a savings goal. Every single time I was able to hit a milestone in my budgeting journey. Every single time I paid off a credit card. I realized that confidence and discovering that confidence to do it my way was the right thing to do. It was the right decision. It kind of solidified my decisions on my financial journey. The next thing that I discovered is purpose. I don't think there is one day that goes by in my life where I wake up and I feel just this overwhelming amount of gratitude. And I just feel so extremely blessed for the life and where I am today. And I realized that this purpose that I have found my calling, I guess, if some people want to call it that. Some people go their entire lives not knowing their purpose in this life, being stuck at a job that doesn't fulfill them, that doesn't bring them joy, that doesn't bring them happiness, wandering through life, not really knowing why you were put on this earth, something bigger than ourselves. And even though sharing in the beginning, being transparent about my budget and being honest about how much debt I had, it was very scary. It was very embarrassing. But because I pushed myself outside that comfort zone, I found that accountability. If I would have never went on my personal finance journey, I would have never found my purpose, which is, I honestly believe, the budget mom. And it's helping people. And I feel like I wouldn't have gotten here without going through my own personal struggles. So I believe I have found my purpose, and that's one of the things that I've learned and discovered, and it's part of my 5 things. The next thing that I learned is abundance. And when I say abundance, I don't mean accumulated wealth. I don't mean a lot of money. A life of abundance is something that I learned, and it's something I have a different outlook on now. It's traveling with my mom, being able to bring her on trips with me. It's having more time to spend with my son. It's being able to make memories and experience with Chris, my boyfriend, and to be able to do that debt-free. A life of abundance for me, and discovering that, is discovering and finding options. Having the option to choose in my life, which has a lot to do with my definition of financial freedom. So a life of abundance is something I also discovered. So the next thing that I have learned on this journey is gratitude. It's funny because now when I look back, it's hard to admit, but I was a very selfish person. I wasn't thankful and didn't notice so many of the blessings that I had in my life. It was almost like they kind of just were over my head, or I skipped by them. I didn't notice them. And now, because I found gratitude in my life, and I'm thankful and content with what I have and the surroundings I have and the possessions that I have, all of a sudden I stopped wanting more. I stopped wanting new. I stopped wanting in general, because I was truly happy and content with what I already had. And that ultimately, taking 1 minute a day to recognize something that I am thankful for, the blessings in my life, a lot of the time, the moments that went so unnoticed in my past, has trickled and made its way into my budget and ultimately how I spend my money. And a lot of these things that I have learned, these 5 things, it all has to do with mindset, but not just mindset, self-discovery. And it's something that I talk about so often on this journey, that this isn't just about the numbers. This is figuring out who we really are and the things that we need personally in our lives to bring us happiness. It's a self-discovery journey. And so those are the 5 things, the important things that I have learned on my financial journey that have affected not just money management in my life and budgeting and finances, but overall, it has changed my life. If you found this video helpful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe. Would you let Toby out of the bathroom? Oh my gosh! Oh no. That's my baby, yeah. Sit. Oh, ow! Oh. Okay.